Well, it can only go downhill from here on in. Welcome to Good News Week, coming to you tonight from the Tammy Wynette Memorial Hall as part of the 1998 Melbourne International Comedy Festival. And the big news? The stevedoring company Patrick's has sacked its entire workforce of 1,400, and Australia's wharves are idle. How can they tell? It's all part of a government plot, to fix up our balance of trade. You know how it goes. Some months we sell a lot of stuff, and some months we buy a lot of stuff. But this way, nothing comes in, nothing gets out, and we break even. And maybe Peter Reith is right. When a politician says someone is overpaid, underworked, and shamelessly rorting the system, they know what they're talking about. The suggestion is that Patrick's cooked up the entire dispute because they intended sacking the union workers all along. Which is absolutely ridiculous. That's like saying the government always intended to sell 100% of Telstra. There's been a sharp outbreak of deja vu this week with news that a dingo on Fraser Island was apprehended running away with a toddler in its mouth. But have we learned nothing in the past 18 years? This dingo was tracked down and shot like a common Victorian traffic offender. Isn't there a more humane way? Why not issue dingoes with licenses? They take a baby, they lose 3 points. An arm or leg, a simple mauling, 2 points. And if they bite an English tourist on the arse, they get a clean record and a gold pass to the Croatian Excellence. Due to intense competition for sponsors, the Sydney Paralympics Organising Committee has raised only a fraction of the $60 million they need to stage the 2000 Paralympic Games. I guess if multinationals wanted to support athletes with physical deformities, they'd sponsor the Chinese swimming team. At least Channel 7 are big supporters of the Paralympics. They've already had several intellectually disabled people on their commentary team. In an attempt to promote the Paralympics along the same line as the Olympics, organisers have come up with 3 cute disabled mascots. There's a 3-legged dingo, a koala with chlamydia, and a kangaroo that's been hit by a truck. An 8-metre penis has got a lot of British archaeologists very excited. Nothing unusual there for the Poms, but this erection, long thought to be a primitive fertility symbol, has turned out to be a piece of 17th century political satire. Nothing much has changed, has it? Apparently in 1650, a friend of Oliver Cromwell's fell out with him and used a whole hillside to carve out the world's largest piece of obscene political graffiti. Now, there are people who feel the same way about Jeff Kennett. But you'd need a much larger hill. And that's the good news.
It's Good News Week. Someone's dropped the bomb somewhere, contaminating atmosphere and blackening the sky. It's Good News Week. Someone's found a way to give the rotting dead a will to live on and never die. It's Good News Week. It's Good News Week.
Good evening. Tonight, alive and kicking, the multi-talented Julie McCrossan, the multimedia Adam Spencer, and making a rare appearance in Melbourne, all the way from the US of A, the multi-purpose Rich Hall.
Can I just say, as an American, I'm sorry for everything. There. I think that clears it up.
Their rat-cutting opposition, the seat of power, Mikey Rotten, the seat of learning, Lynda Gibson, and another special guest of the 98 Comedy Festival, the seat of his pants, Al Murray, the pub landlord.
You've done this country up lovely as well.
Who are?
It was all sand when we sent you off, and you've done it up beautiful. Just round the edge is mine, but you'll get to the middle one day. I know you see me as one of your gods.
Thanks so much for leaving us to die in Singapore.
Well, it happens.
Thanks for Lynda too.
I wish I knew what that meant.
It's a cocktail.
Right. Thanks for the bar staff in London in return. That's very kind.
All our guests tonight are on the International Comedy Festival Joke for the Dole scheme. It's just like the work for the dole. It only goes for a short period of time, there's no real payment, and it doesn't make you any more employable. Julie, Adam, Rich, what's all this about then?
That's a woman with
She's
some
making a very
frozen-
strange large soup. Could be bouillabaisse.
Sperm! And
And
AFL.
a very, very large running sperm in tight shorts.
More sperm.
Can I just say, I look upon this as a Victorian conspiracy story to make an increasing number of tall, thin men in a world that needs more rugby league muscle.
We can all beat the shit out of Julie after the show, by the way.
I'll show you what a scrum really is.
I actually think we can get an Arts Council grant to do it.
It would seem that women are having themselves impregnated by sperm because men are watching too much football. That appears.
Gary, come on. It's in the fridge, love. Just shut up. It's the final.
Actually, and while you're there, get us a beer.
It's actually quite interesting. Men are expressing down below while women then later express up above.
You're not allowed to do that in Melbourne, Julie.
What, down below or up above?
Either.
Oh, that's right.
What it's about, Paul, is this. People at a research institute at Monash University are encouraging, due to low sperm donations recently, encouraging more men to donate sperm, and in particular, they're targeting AFL players to donate sperm. And the great thing about donating sperm for the AFL is that even if you miss, you still get a point. The best part of it is that if you get it where you're meant to be aiming, a guy comes out in a white coat and goes, "Yeah, well done, fantastic."
Actually, I think if you look at that film of the sperm, it's actually a pretty good offensive play. For,
5 points, thank you very much. Fertility clinics in Victoria are running very low on sperm and have approached all AFL players, coaches and club officials to help them out. The AFL slogan has now been changed to, "And the big men open their fly." I'm thinking more, Warwick Kappa donating sperm. No, I don't really want to see that. I have one question. Why search for viable sperm in the one sector of the population famous for tight shorts? Cup spare Kazali, warm up your worm, rough up your ruckman, donate your sperm. Cup spare Kazali, pump up your pride, gush like a geyser, but do it inside. Thank you very much. Mikey, Lynda, Al, over to you.
What the hell's that?
That's the Turin
I
shroud.
didn't see it.
Shroud of Turin.
That's a man with a beard.
That's the ball bloke at Turin.
That's a nun without a beard.
Oh,
That's the nun
That's
of
the
Turin.
Jesus picture.
The chappie in the middle is a scientist. You can tell because he looks smart. And and the Vatican have the Turin shroud, and the scientist wants to DNA test it. My learned colleagues, did you know that?
Yeah.
test the shroud.
Test the shroud because I think it might be a Kendone tea towel.
It's proof, though, of Jesus, the shroud, isn't it?
The Vatican won't let the Turin shroud be released to be What? Don't make that movement. It makes me sad when you do that.
Does anyone actually know?
Well, they
Yeah.
just taste
They're
this.
DNAing.
Yeah, well, they want a DNA, but the Vatican aren't keen on it being DNA'd.
They've done it before.
They've
It
done it
didn't
before.
turn out too
already.
good.
Yeah, and they don't want to do it again because we all know it was made in the 12th century by a lonely monk called Abdul.
Okay, I'm going to get 4 points. US scientists say they've isolated DNA from the Shroud of Turin, claiming to have discovered human male blood. Yes, a little bit of information you didn't get. Unfortunately, Vatican officials are not prepared to lend the shroud out for more tests. They argue that the DNA tests are sacrilegious because DNA provides proof, and proof tends to ruin all the hard work done by the Catholic Church. show us your strange but true clues if you've got the guts. McCross and Spencer and Hall have a sealed canister, a wheelbarrow, and...
I have, this is called slag, which is, in America, slag means mine tailings, but here, interestingly, it has 3 different meanings. Slag.
And Robbins, Gibson and Murray were given a warning sign, a whip,
Ouch, ouch.
and a bottle of calamine lotion.
That's for itchy butt.
Tasty and nutritious.
Sweet calamine.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bites will christen the round. Adam, this little fellow's doing a big suck job. Why?
The wealth of experience and wisdom possessed by older people is an undervalued resource.
What a sincere man.
That's actually a Tammy Wynette lyric, is it not?
The little-known B-side to D-I-V-O-R-C-E, the wealth of experience of older people is a little-used resource.
Let's be honest, and I love your work, John, don't get me wrong, and I love Warwick Perer's work too. I think Warwick Perer is an absolute...
Peter Reed's done some good work as well.
Peter... And if some of you lazy bludgers took a leaf out of Peter's book, we wouldn't be in the trouble that we're in the same way. John Howard last year, you know, some people you could say downsized, you could say adjusted the figures, you should say scandalously ripped out $1 billion out of aged care. And he's now been good enough to put back about $277 million to encourage people to keep old people at home. So there's an increased carers allowance for people who are going to look after grandma, grandpa, great-great-grandma, great-great-great-great-great-great-grandpa that you've got cryogenically stored out the back because you can't afford to bury the poor bastard because there's going to be a death tax or something like that.
All right, 3 points, go.
The Prime Minister has pledged $270 million to the elderly, aimed at providing them with support so they're not forced to move into nursing homes. This should silence all those critics of cutting nursing home funding. If the government hadn't done that, where would they get the money to subsidise home care? Also included in the stay-at-home package is a great activity book full of things to do while you're waiting for the community nurse to come and find you've fallen over. In the activities book, there's a guide to mixing your medication for mind-altering effects, a quiz that asks just how compatible are you and your budgie, and fun tips on how to really annoy young people, like standing in front of busy ATMs just staring and mumbling to yourself. Al, your bite from scientific researcher Jeremy Rifkin.
We need to ask ourselves, just because it can be done, does that necessarily mean it should be done?
I think it's cloning. That's what it is.
Oh, Dolly Wise.
Yeah, Dolly cloning sheep.
Organ.
Look, I've cloned a sheep. Here's another sheep. See, they're the same. What was the point? They are the same, and they're sheep, for Christ's sake.
And
Why take a carbon copy of a sheep? Look at it.
They talk about transplants for human organs. So like if you lose your kidney, they put a sheep in. And this poor little thing has to filter all your waste. And it's not happy.
Gonna give you 2 points. Very close, very close. 2 US researchers have applied for a patent on methods of creating creatures that are part human, part animal.
We've had the football question.
And they are doing this in a bid to stop commercial exploitation. The researchers are very happy about patenting this technology. You can tell this because their noses are wet and their tails are wagging. But think of some of the possible combinations. You know, a dog and a funnel web. You know, a funnel web spider. A creature that brings you your slippers, then hides inside one and waits there to bite you. A cat and an ant. A beast that can carry 10 times its own weight, but really just can't be bothered. Or what about a Victorian police officer and Glen Ridge? A cop who shoots first and asks questions later.
I don't understand why anybody would even be bothering to create a half-human when, you know, we already have Michael Jackson, who's... essentially only one more cosmetic surgery operation away from actually not even being a human and being a porpoise.
A fleet of Michael Jacksons swimming off the coast of Victoria.
That's amazing. Like last year, went to Monkey Mire and swum with the Michael Jacksons.
Yeah, that's it. His next CD is just going to be...
Hey, look, it's Michael Jackson free tuna.
The good news is, this country already has a crossbreeding program. Humans were crossed with pigs to create the Australian cricket team. When it was discovered, Hawkers had a talent for spin bowling.
I can't tell you how good it is as an Englishman to see you lot stuffing up your cricket. It's fabulous. Well, again, you're making a mess of it. It's beautiful.
Well, it would be after 15 years, wouldn't it?
We invented the game, so even when you beat us, we win because we thought of it. Same goes for rugby, football. Not that you play that very well. Iran, I believe, is the word you don't like.
So does that mean that every time a country goes into another country and murders all the indigenous population, you go, oh, we did it years ago. Oh, look at that.
And now...
I can't believe I'm sitting here as an American and nobody's picking on me.
And it's a little game now. It's called Warren. Three headlines about the same subject, but their identity has been famously concealed by the name... Rich, your headlines. Bold new Warren plan. No space at the top for Warren. Golden Warren as big as Ben-Hur.
Yeah.
Who is this Warren?
I'm pretty sure that Warren is, the word is retriever. No, this is true. In northern Australia, very North Territory, there's some giant retriever. Did you not read this story? He's about the size of a house, and he's been running rampant and eating children and towns, actually small towns, some buildings and recreational vehicles, and they don't know what to do with him.
Because he's from
Do you want to
another
confer
country.
with the rest of your team, maybe?
It's possible that a large ship...
Yeah, so a big dog, a really big dog, say, that was pointy at both ends...
With stacks?
Would say someone who looked a bit like Leonardo DiCaprio standing on the front of the dog, because the dog was going from Southampton over to somewhere.
New York.
New York.
Would that dog possibly have a name?
Titanic.
Can Rich say it?
Oh, sorry.
Well, can I just have 15 seconds of silence to think about it?
Do you have an answer?
Yes, they're going to rebuild the Titanic. I believe.
3 points. Yes, it is indeed the Titanic. A consortium of Swiss and American companies has decided to rebuild the Titanic and wave it off on the 90th anniversary of the original Titanic. But what if somewhere someone is building a perfect replica of an iceberg? But why stop there? I mean, why stop there? Let's build another Hindenburg. I mean, what are the chances of that exploding twice and incinerating hundreds of people? Oh, the humanity? Let's find out. In fact, why don't we build a chalet in Thredbo on a landslip site? I know a vacant lot. Or why don't we take the kiddies on an outback holiday to see the dingoes, eh? Or why don't we re-elect the Borbidge government? No, that's just going too far. Lynda, your headlines are: Warren will be a vocal knockout, Nightmare Holiday ends Warren's glory days, and Warren looks to his strength. He's a loser.
Is it retriever?
It's the cricket. It's
that-
got to be.
No, knockout, that would I would indicate maybe
Boxing.
Biffo.
Biffo Loser.
Biffo.
Glory Days.
Biffo Loser, Glory
Glory
Days.
Days.
That's a legal firm, Biffo Loser and
It's
Glory
amazing
Days.
how... Amazing how they've forgotten there's an audience here during this.
Well, just talk amongst yourselves. We'll figure it out.
It's something to do with a boxer, like a famous boxer, like Aussie Joe Bugner or Jeff Fennick.
He's doing vocal clubs.
Jeff Fennick is singing.
No, he's doing elocution lessons.
Jeff Fennick is going to be on Breakers.
He's going to learn how to talk. That's it. A boxer who
You
can
don't need
speak.
to talk to be on Breakers. Jeff Fennick is going to be on television or in a cultural way, entertaining people at large as opposed to hitting them.
Let's see if it's right. Hey, 3 points. Now he's given up boxing. Jeff is enrolled in elocution lessons. Yes, he wants to become an elocution. Fennick's vocal exercises include red bruises, yellow bruises, red bruises, yellow bruises. And round the rugged greengrocer's shop, the frightened grocer runs. Round the rugged grocer's shop, the frightened grocer runs.
Here's my question, all right? This is about boxing. Boxing doesn't cause brain damage. How come they call it a ring when it's clearly a square?
Same reason they call what are clearly mittens gloves.
Yeah. And if it's a man's sport, well, how come they're fighting for a purse and a belt? They're fighting for women's accessories, these men.
Punch-drunk McCrossans are on 11 points. The Roteby Robinsons on 9 points. All right, let's shut it down. Julie, Adam, Rich, your strange but true clues were the canister, the wheelbarrow.
The wheelbarrow with not a life-saving device written on it for some obscure reason.
And slag.
Yeah, I think it goes to Queensland. And I think it deals with that propensity of the Australian male to get out in his backyard and do things with his hands.
That's
Maybe not. Julie, most of us go into the shed first.
What it is about is a guy going into his backyard and he wants to generate his own power. He's an intense individualist. You'd understand this. You have a lot of individualists in your country, don't you?
I certainly do from where I am, which is Montana. Yeah.
Mainly 11-year-old kids with high-powered rifles.
All right. It's time to start picking on me, and you're right.
It's really fun. Like, in our country, we play tag with our hands.
Well, you know, keep in mind you're talking about Arkansas. Nobody seems to know that Arkansas is Darwin's rewind button. Arkansas is like the biggest weirdo. If you've ever been to Arkansas, when I heard that schoolmates were shooting other schoolmates in Arkansas, I thought, I didn't know they had schools in Arkansas.
There's a guy in Queensland who is attempting to build a nuclear reactor device in his own backyard to power his home. This is a guy who had a solar pool and thought, look, I can swim 9 months a year, that's cool. I want to swim 12 months of the year in something so hot that I just can't even put my toe in it. There's a guy experimenting with nuclear power in his own backyard.
And his dog drank this and got really big.
Let it go. Let the retriever go.
Do-it-yourself nuclear power Queensland style.
This is the guy who needs a girlfriend.
3 points, you are right. 100% fighting. Doesn't any better than that. The Queensland Health Department has seized uranium and thorium from the home of a science researcher who was trying to build a waste-free nuclear power generator in his backyard. Now, there's a storyline they haven't thought of for Neighbours. Then health department officials were called after neighbours complained they were being kept awake by George Conteleone's Christmas lights 4 months after Christmas. Only to find George didn't have any Christmas lights. Then people started noticing other little things. The 50-metre high cooling tower in George's backyard. The fifth arm on the hairless dog. The garbage collector who was eaten whole by a huge golden retriever.
Glad to see you came around to my way of thinking.
Mikey, Lynda, Al, what can you do? With the warning sign, the wind... Oops! And the... Whoa!
John,
It's out of control. And the calamine lotion.
Yeah.
I'll smack you all, and then I'll rub this on it.
Where does this come in?
Watch out, here comes Lynda with the whip. No, it's good. To soothe, it's a,
To soothe an itch.
an itch that must be scratched, I guess.
But what's the bloody story?
Well, that's
That's
the
up
clue.
to you, Al.
Well, I don't know, do I?
Come on, our new English friend, tell us the story.
Now, these are called little persuaders, of course.
Maybe in your house they are.
They work.
It's what little jockeys hit beautiful horses with, and it shouldn't be allowed, neither should steeplechasing either while we're on the matter. But, and so these are persuaders, and it's racing, betting, gambling.
Gambling bug. The gambling bug. Yeah, basically, what they're going to do is they're not going to put warnings, hence the warning sign, on scratchies.
Warning, playing scratchies, you might make money. It's a story about putting warning signs on scratchies.
On scratchies and not...
mustn't doing that. And that's itching the scratch.
Right. Yes, it's warning signs on lottery tickets, scratchies, anything which basically could be fun. Because let's face it, this whole country is based on having fun, and who cares if the kiddies don't eat or basically suffocate in the car?
The New South Wales and Victorian governments want to help problem gamblers by having gaming operators print warnings on TAB stubs, lottery tickets and scratchies. The government say that people who promote gambling have a social responsibility, unless, of course, they're the government. Proposed warnings on the gaming tickets include gambling wastes good drinking money. The good news is on scratchies you'll be able to scratch off the warning to win a great prize. The government also wants operators to provide detoxification-type units for gambling addicts. But is it really such a good idea to put so many losers in one room together? I mean, last time someone did that, we ended up with the One Nation Party.
I would just like to apologise for my team member who appears to be going into blackface, but quite simply it was the reference to Arkansas turned him into a kind of Aussie Rambo, and we could all be at risk.
Yeah, the Aussie Rambo, Yobbo.
Julie McCrossan, Adam Spencer and Rich Hall scored an odds-on 14 points. First past the post in front of Mikey Robinson to Gibson and Al Murray on a correct weight, 12 points.
Do some impressions. Do some impressions, yeah. I'll do an impression. This is a car boot opening. Like that. Wait. And now I shut the car boot. Oh, the magic.
So we say see you back here next week and leave you with the news that Peter Reith is very happy with this week's events on the waterfront. He says he'd like to see more workplace disputes settled using security guards with batons and dogs. Maybe Wick too. Good night.